Hi, do you ever think about how wonderful theme parks are? How fun and exciting they are? Do you ever consider why people go there? Theme parks are so big and amazing. Some people go there, everyone goes there and they come from different places and they go for different reasons. Some people go for the big rides, whether they're big or small, fast or slow. Some people go for the attractions, the sights, or just the experience of being in a theme park. And others just go to the theme park just to sit around and watch others run mad with exhilaration. Well, this might surprise you, but language is quite like a theme park. Language is an extremely common thing, but everyone uses it for different reasons and in different ways. Some see language as an amazing thing which can be used in colourful and in exciting ways, and others see it as a common basic resource. Nevertheless, everyone uses language. My name is Mark Girolami and I'm a first year university student studying primary teaching. I have grown up in a fun and interesting life which has contributed to the way that I use language today. By listening to my talk today, you're going to gain an understanding of how my language and literacy skills have developed throughout my lifetime. Language can be described in many ways and it differs depending on whoever's talking about it. A metaphor that I like to use to describe my own literacy journey is a tree. Now I know you might be thinking that I'm a bit ridiculous describing my literacy journey as a tree, but I'll explain why. The branches of the tree represent the different paths that my literacy journey has taken throughout my life, since I was born to where I am today. The leaves, the colourful leaves, the changing of the leaves throughout the year, they represent the language that I use, the different types of language and the different ways that I use it. Trees seem quite basic, which also represents my language. All over the world there are millions of trees, and it's very rare that you see a tree and take extra notice of it, just like my language. Looking back over my life, I've also been able to create a timeline of my literacy journey. The different stages of this timeline highlight the acquisition of which I've gained my knowledge, gained my literacy skills, and identifies where I've developed over the years. I've created 4 stages for my timeline, the first being kindergarten, followed by primary school, then high school, and then university. These stages are also the most important parts of my overall educational journey. So as mentioned, kindergarten is the first stage of my timeline. At this stage, I was learning most from my parents. Every night they would read me stories before bed. My parents were the ones who introduced me to books and showed me how wonderful they are. I always loved story time each night and it was something I looked forward to. At kindergarten we had story time as well. Every night and every day my teachers and my parents would read with such enthusiasm that it would increase my eagerness for reading books. The second stop in my timeline is primary school. This is a stage where I began to develop my imagination and creativity as I was allowed to start creating stories for myself. However, my imagination and creativity has always lacked throughout my life. I remember nights sitting in my bedroom and the bedroom I shared with my brother as we would read our school novels to each other. And Mum would sit by and help us sound out the big words that we didn't quite understand. At this stage, I also wanted to be very much like my oldest brother Andrew. Dressing like him was just a start, but I often copied what he said word for word, even if I didn't understand what he was saying or what it meant. I would also mimic his body movements and his body language and all his gestures. The third stage, as mentioned, is high school. Throughout my high school years, a lot of my language developed at the dinner table at night, sitting around with my family. We would have family discussions each night as we shared dinner. Being the youngest in my family, I didn't always contribute, but I always listened. My older brothers and my parents would often have conversations that were quite bizarre to me, and I didn't always understand, but I always took note of how they communicated with each other, how they spoke to each other, and how they took in the information that was given to them. During these years, I also got my first job as a basketball referee. This job taught me how to deal with conflict and has taught me a lot of important language literacy skills which I have been able to use in a number of different areas throughout my life. Following this, I also started playing senior basketball, and as a teenager, I enjoyed mingling with more mature people and having more mature discussions. Being around older people at a younger age allowed my literacy skills to mature. The fourth and final stage in my timeline is where I am now at university. Being at university, I have been able to develop my skills through researching information, obtaining that information, and then presenting it to people in a clear and effective way so that they can understand. Throughout my 3 years, or my years at uni, I've had to give a number of oral presentations as assessment tasks. This has helped me to develop my ability to speak in front of people when I've been the sole focus. It was only recently when I gave my first ever public speech, which wasn't at uni or school, I was able to deliver a speech at my friend's 21st birthday party. I gained a lot of confidence after giving this speech, as I learned that I was able to give speeches without notes or in front of different groups of people. In the last couple of years, I've also taken up coaching basketball. This has also improved my language skills as I've had to communicate with much younger children. I've had to learn how to give the same message to different kids in a number of different ways, and I've learned why this is extremely important to do. I've also had to communicate with their parents, and so having more formal conversations has helped develop my literacy skills. The end of my timeline brings me to where I am today. I am aware of my toolkit, my literacy toolkit. I'm aware of my strengths and my weaknesses. When it comes to language and literacy, my strengths include my vocabulary, which is my knowledge and understanding of words. Pragmatics, which means I choose my words appropriately and I use them correctly. And another strength of mine is semantics, which is being able to understand individual words and sentences. However, I do have a number of weaknesses, and these include morphology, which is the way words and language is used, and syntax, which refers to the structure and phrases of sentences as well as grammar structure. Being able to identify my weaknesses has been really important and has allowed me to develop a SMART goal. My SMART goal is to complete 2 modules on the BKSB each week for the remainder of the semester. By completing these modules, I will develop my morphology and orthography, which will then improve my writing, which will increase my marks as at university. A lot of my assessments are based on writing. I know my language and literacy skills will never stop developing, and I will always have to keep learning and add to my toolkit. Knowing this excites me and motivates me to continue to learn. Thank you.